Well. In the last few days, Renee has been busy having very interesting conversations with the public on her social platform. Now, let's begin with the first one herself in particular, where she says, laugh out loud. My mum is the one that bought Chidi his new Android phone. It lasted maybe a month before he broke it. She then proceeds by also saying, he used to tell me that him and his family would laugh at me and tell him, has he laughed along? How could this white woman love some black blind man in Nigeria? He said it himself. He said the family thought it was hilarious. I guess the joke still stood. I guess I was nothing but a joke to everyone. And trust me when I tell you, there is more. Continues also by saying there'd been a few times where I sent a couple hundred each time. In the beginning, he said my mom pays for my schooling. I felt bad, so I did. I sent the funds. I didn't have much of my own, struggling money-wise, but I was willing to help him anytime. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I was waiting for the moment that she was going to say that she sent him some money, because there was just something about what was going on, and I was like, why haven't she mentioned money yet though? Surely there's a part where she was sending him money, because she had already spoke about how she'd actually, send him a new phone or got him a new Android phone. In fact, Chidi's sister actually mentioned the fact that Renee had, purchased a phone for him because it was getting too expensive to ring him on, I believe, the landline or whatever it is, purely because he was no longer on the internet. So I was thinking, if she's going to do that, she must have sent money too. But hey, as you can see, she said I sent a couple hundred each time. I wonder how much that totaled to in the end. Then continues by saying, one of the stupidest questions Chidi ever asked me. Why couldn't you have been born black? You can imagine how shocked I was. Promised truth. To be fair with you, that one blew my mind. I don't know who would say that. Like, yo, did he really say that? Because that is a crazy question. I mean, listen, I've heard people say, oh, I wish I was black. Oh, I wish I was what? I've heard that, but I've never heard someone say, why couldn't you have been born this insert race? It's a madness. But also there is more. Your family became too greedy, leading to your downfall into the deepest depth of the sea. How dare you betray me when you know very well, when you very well knew me. The day I heard your sister on TV pushing you to stay, to say I had some sort of temper, that broke my heart and shocked me to my core. I expected so much more and positive. You know me, you chose me, but I know you, and I know that wasn't you that was agreeing with her. You listened to someone else, to someone's mouth and tiny mind. Go on your journey. I am no part. And we continue. Gotta keep up for the good stuff. Got a lot of crybabies complaining that I post a lot, yet have this obsession with following me, even if they don't like me. So obviously her just going on a cheeky little rant here, but let's skip that one. Let's get into the next one. I would never do something personal inside of somebody else's house sexually. I have respect, but if I really wanted to get a little taste, I would have. When the sister left the house to go get something, that production asked me. He came on to me as fast as he can, kissing me romantically and even touching me all over as if you were going into the moment. But I who am the shy one pulled away, because I knew that this was not the situation and place I would want to be in if it was going to go down. Interesting. So she's trying to tell us that the whole thing about him not wanting intimacy before marriage and whatnot was a bunch of hoo-ha, because she's saying that he was putting it onto her. Now, even though he was putting it onto her, it doesn't necessarily mean that he was going to go the full mile, but it clearly means that he was definitely in that position where he was, instigating it all. Very, very interesting, because let's put it this way. If he's saying that he does not want intimacy before marriage, but yet he's still going to put her in those positions, yeah, that is crazy. But we continue. She also says here, What sort of heartless false Christian would not defend the person that they supposedly loved, and or even admired? Why isn't he telling everyone all the gifts and joy I came with? Gifts, interesting, and joy I came with. Offering my heart, my home, and everything else to this male, only for him to use me for the show. Interesting. So she's saying that he used her for the show. Very, very interesting. Hint, the Apple reference, the curse existence. Wake up. He's hiding behind Christianity while running to witch doctors and chanting to the dead. Now that is quite interesting. I know that is something that people do. Interesting stuff. Then she says, correction. I meant to say what sort of heartless false Christian he is who would not defend. Very, very interesting. Now, also on top of that, with the last one itself in particular, she comes out by saying simply this. You know somebody is completely heartless and evil when they have no regrets. Posted on their profile after scamming somebody, hurting and lying to them after 5 years of claiming that you love them. I gave money, I gave my time, I gave my heart, I gave my everything up for almost 6 years so I would have the chance to be with this guy, knowing one day I would meet him, throwing away chances at relationships so that I wouldn't never hurt him. The entire time I was a laughing stock to be used by Chidi. That is a madness. The question is, give me your thoughts on what she had to say. Now I'm going to highlight a few things before we round up the video. Now, the first thing that I want to highlight is the fact that she does mention, okay, the whole thing regarding the money. She says she sent him money a few times. That is quite interesting. I would like to know how much money that she sent him. And to be fair, I'm in a position where I'm going to choose to believe this because, well, if she was in a position where she even got her mother to buy a phone for him to send him that way, that tells me a lot about that. And like I said before, it was something that I was waiting for her to say at some point. You know what I mean? Okay. But also on top of that, let's talk about the fact that she talks about how your family became greedy, leading to your downfall. To be honest with you, I will say this from a certain perspective that I'm very, very familiar with. Greed is a very, 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 very big thing in a lot of African families. I will say that, specifically African black families. It is a massive thing. I can't speak for any other race per se, you know, obviously in the African continent itself in particular, but I also know greed can be quite a very savage thing in a lot of black families in general, even without whether they're African or not, if you dig what I'm saying. Even though technically we all come from Africa, but it is what it is. That's another conversation. With that being said though, so therefore I'm inclined to believe what she's saying here, but who knows? Who knows? Now, the part where she speaks about obviously sister trying to be the one that instigates, I'm not too sure about that one. I mean, would it surprise me? No, but I'm not going to say too much on this stuff in particular. Now, here's the thing though. She talks about the fact that she believes that he's a heartless, false Christian. I mean, listen, let's be real. When it comes to religion isn't exactly always as black. It's not always as black and white. There's definitely a lot of things in religion that's definitely effed up. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is truth to what she's saying regarding this one itself in particular, if you dig what I'm saying. But also on top of that, okay, that is the few things that I wanted to also, and also on top of that, she does say that I gave him money. I gave him money at time, blah, 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 blah. These are things that I can believe that obviously was a part of it. But either way, though, the question is this, though. Will we hear anything back from the other side? I mean, listen, the last time his sister spoke out, she basically shot herself in the foot, as well as Chidi, to be honest with you, so much that she ended up deleting all the posts that she had made prior. So I think personally, if I was a sister, I'd probably just stay quiet, to be honest with you. Unless you're going to come back with a response that has proof against to what she's saying, I'd probably say don't say anything. You know what I mean? Because these claims are quite strong, you know? Yeah. Anyway, with that being said, let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.